Sorry about that, guys. Welcome to News on the Flip Side. One of these days, I'm going to find the right intro song. I like, sometimes I like a little heavy metal. Sometimes it's good for a news show, too, because frankly, some of the stuff we talk about, you need a little metal. I mean, really and truly, man, the world is a shithole. Now, right off the bat, I'm getting comments, oh, we're going to nuke China. We're going to blow China up. What is it with this China thing lately? Every time I turn around, somebody's talking about China, this China. Look, either America and China are going to learn to get along just like the United States and the Soviet Union did, or, well, y'all all know the alternative. China can't take us in war, so it doesn't really matter. Oh no, we in a fair war, we could take China easy. It doesn't matter that they have more people than we do. Our military is far more trained than theirs is. Think about it, guys. China hasn't fought a war. I couldn't even tell you what. They're watching Russia right now for the mistakes Russia's making. But Russia's not, Russia's fighting the Ukraine. Russia's not fighting the United States. As you watched in Iraq, remember, he had a 1,000,000-man army, one of the biggest armies in the world, one of the best trained armies, Soviet equipped, American and Soviet equipped. And in less than 6 months, we had air and ground superiority. And that's how it'd be in the Ukraine. Well, if we were taking Ukraine would have already been over. The war would have been done and over with. No, Russia would have never stood a chance. That's what I'm saying. It's not the same thing. Practicing against yourself or friends is not the same thing as getting in the shit. And we've got 50 years now of getting in the shit. We just now closed our final war. It's almost like we're itching, man. Look, we ain't blowing no shit up. Come on, man. We got to go blow some shit up. God, Americans, we got to blow some shit up. And you think I'm fucking around with y'all. But it's true. As a country, we need to blow some shit up. And at this point, we really we have to come to a way that we can work with each other. We have to come to an understanding, not just a military, but a financial one as well. Well, China wants to be what the United States was 50 years ago, and I understand that. And actually, I don't have anything against that. In a lot of ways, it would benefit the world. But the problem is with communism, it's never, ever going to benefit the world long term. We've known it. We've seen communism's failed in everything, every adventure, everything it's ever been. Janine, I understand that lower government's not communist, but it really is because it's run by the communists. Even though you're saying, oh, they're being elected and allowed to pick their leaders and mayors and governors and stuff like that, and I doubt it's governors. Yeah, it's still the Communist Party. China still puts out cheap shit products. I mean, come on. They were killing our dogs, trying to kill our babies. I mean, basically, they were putting out cheap shit products. And it hasn't stopped. So somebody asked me, well, why don't we consider the military a bigger threat? Because we see the way they make microchip boards. If that's how their military is being made, they better never go to war. Well, because we have Taiwan and Japan, and the United States has been building superconductor chips. We're going to several companies have now saying, whoa, wait, we're not doing what? Oh, I see a big hole here to make some serious money. Yeah, so. Well, the United States would have to defend Taiwan for several reasons, but one is we would not want China to get the abilities to make superconductor chips in the way as fast as we do and the way we do. No. I don't know if they would sacrifice Taiwan or not. You mean nuke them? I don't know if they would or they wouldn't. It would depend. But it would be tough. I mean, the United States could take Taiwan back, but it would be tough once China got there. Oh, look, I see some sexy beast man just popped in. So let's drop him up in the queue with us. Oh, hello there, JJ Rabbit. How
What's
are you
happening,
doing?
Joe?
Oh, Bob. Actually, I'm getting ready to play some promos in a minute, but I was just talking some bullshit. I was just talking some, as that kid on TikTok says, I was talking some bullshit. Well, somebody had written to me right as we were starting, well, we're going to get in a war with China, and China's going to whip our ass. I'm like, not in this lifetime.
They might give us a bruised knee, but they're not going to get us.
See, and that's the difference. China's got to get mobilized and get out there and get all this stuff working. Because the United States is going to be like, And China's gonna be like, "What the just happened?"
If
It's
they
not the
attempt to
same.
mobilize a navy, which they have very little of, to come over here, that would be disastrous for them. Where our navy would destroy them.
Well, pretty soon, if China keeps on its current rate, they'll be 2-for-1 on our ships by within 8 or 9 years. They're about equal numbers. They're going to pass us this year. I think we're at 360. They're going to be at 400, but that's only because the Democrats keep decommissioning ships. I mean, they're decommissioning 2 more ships. I mean, the Nimitz is being decommissioned, and even the
What?
Navy's kind of even the Navy's kind of like, well, wait, why are we doing this?
The
Well, we
Nimitz
do
is
have.
still. I mean, how old is the Nimitz? It came out what, the 70s?
Yeah, it's 50. It's at its ends. It's at its lifespan. It's at its predicted lifespan. Let me put it that way.
No, they can make it a museum ship at least.
I think they're selling it to one of our allies.
Oh, that's good.
So,
Here,
but
boat.
so now it's been a long time since I've been on Nimitz people, but if I remember correctly, the way it would work is if we sold a ship to somebody, we would remove the reactor, but we would help them if they were like India or somebody to learn how to build their own reactor. Yeah. Well, we can't leave ours. And one, it's too old. And if something goes nuke, we don't want to blow up an ally. Yeah, this aircraft. Boom! What happened? Oh, we're not sure. Kind of like the sub that just expanded the other day, but I don't know. It makes me a little nervous, but the guy the other day says, "Well, you're not more nervous." I said, "Man, I'm older than you are. I mean, I only got X many days left on the planet anyway." So I said, "You young bastards that are in trouble." I said, "Us old people are just like, it'd be 10, 15 years now. We'd be like, and by the time all the disaster hits, we'll be like 100. We'll be like, oh, whatever. Won't even know what's going on. Have Alzheimer's or something. Like, what? Who you speak what language? Mandarin. I know no Mandarin. Actually, Jesse James. I love that. So right now, currently, China has 2 aircraft carriers and about half the subforce that we do. They do have more ships above water than we do, but frankly, when you look at them compared to ours and all of the new weapon systems we've installed, I wouldn't. Russia doesn't even want to talk about it anymore. Russia's like, well, America, what? No, we don't. We got American ships. They'll let their jets screw with us, but they don't let their ships get around ours. No, it's too easy.
It'd be disastrous for them.
Yeah, and they don't want nobody to know that they've really mostly retired their subforce because they can't afford it anymore. I don't know, guys. Russia don't want to fight the United States. Russia just wanted to expand its borders and teach NATO a lesson. No, you can't make everything NATO because this is partly our fault. We are making everything NATO. I mean, countries like Finland and Denmark who were never will we be NATO. Never. Oh, guess what? We're NATO now.
Who did they just sign up? Wasn't it Sweden or Switzerland? Which one did they just
sign up?
Switzerland,
Sweden. It might have been Finland. It was one of them.
I think, it was one of them. I mean, Sweden or Finland. I don't think.
Yeah, because Turkey was against both of them.
I think try to stay neutral, but they're.
Well, Don, both of them were Scandinavian countries, but Turkey was against both of them, and somehow or another they appeased Turkey, so Turkey allowed them to come in. Well, Turkey was kind of against them for a couple of reasons. One, what were they actually bringing to the table? They were neutral countries. They pretty much don't have a military. They got a little teensy-weensy military. So, I guess if you put all of them together.
They have resources they can add to any world needs. So
that's true. And I guess when you put all the Scandinavian countries together, they got a decent air force. Well, guys, so Scandinavian countries don't do like the United States does. No, or most countries. So their air force is like 2 planes here on the side of the road, 3 planes here on the side of the road, 4 planes here. You can't see them. They're off to the side. But they're all scattered around their country, and they can be mobilized at any time. So it's not like a regular airfield, which you'd think of their highways or their airfields. Yes. Oh, they probably got 1 or 2 regular air bases, but this is weird. It's something the U.S. and Canada has actually started talking about doing, is planting some around the country just for those reasons. I'm thinking anybody that can get into the United States and blow up our Air Force bases, we're in deep shit. This is red dump, people. We're in deep trouble.
They're the first defense against any aerial attack, where you missile or plane or what. But yeah, you take that out. Look what happened to Saddam Hussein. We took out his Air Force in like 15, 20 minutes in the opening wars of the 1993 Gulf War, and that crippled them. They were just no way they could come back from that, and that's what happened.
Well, once we had air superiority, we could take our time blowing up their AAAs and stuff like that.
Drove over the top of their country and blew up all their naval bases and military bases.
Blew up their tanks and stuff. And we got to the point you would see them as a tank advance would be coming into Iraq, they would surrender because they were just getting their asses kicked. Well, because the Air Force and the Navy's planes
Yeah.
could just fly around at will and blow shit up. They had taken out, so the first couple of weeks they took out the Air Force, and then they took out all the AAA, which is,
It wasn't
any
even a couple of
aircraft.
weeks. It was the first day that the airport
Yeah,
was
and
the
well, yeah,
Air
I
Force
know,
was
and
done.
but it took them a little while to get all the AAA out, and then they did have a couple of little
Or to get rid of
missiles
the AAA,
here and
maybe.
there,
Yeah.
and yeah, because you could watch on CNN. You'd be watching, seeing a guy be out on the out on the porch out there, and you hear shh, there's a cruise missiles going in the background. You're thinking, oh shit, we ain't playing, are we?
Like,
Like it was
yeah,
our
you could
cruise
also see
missile.
behind the reports, you could see like the tracer rounds going off in the air from
Oh, I know, it was
AAA. It was
crazy. It was
like
crazy.
watching live Star Wars. It really was.
It brought real war to America in a different way. Well, I got a lot of friends that are Chinese, or I should say Asian. I don't want to make them all Chinese, but I just I don't really know. It's just not. It's not to either country's advantage. They can't conquer our country. Could you imagine trying to take this country and hold it? You'd have to kill every American in it, and that would take forever. And trust me, it ain't going to be. You're not going to go one for one. Most Americans who know their area, it's going to be more like 10 for 1. So you're going to be losing a lot of people. And I just don't. I don't. I just Vietnam and places like that taught most of us. And Afghanistan taught most of us lessons. Sometimes it's just easier not to bother trying to hold an area.
Well, especially now,
Or blow
Vietnam
everybody up.
for centuries, people had been trying to get it. India tried to go, France tried to go, Russia tried to go. Everybody on that continent tried to take over that little
It
corner of
was
Southeast Asia. And the reason why none of them ever were able to gain and sustain a hold on that country is that the underground network they move troops and equipment and military stuff. And once we discovered that, I mean, we couldn't fight it. It was a non-viable, non-winnable war.
well, things like and America learned if you're not going to commit, don't get into it. You either got to commit to the war or stay the hell out of it. We never committed to
Yeah.
Vietnam. We never wanted to commit to Vietnam. Vietnam meant, oh,
We
we're
were
going to have to
fairly
blow a
committed,
lot.
though. There was a lot of troops and a lot of equipment left behind. So
Yeah,
it's just
but there was,
too,
but not to a real
much.
commitment where we outright deployed.
Too expensive to go instead.
No, I think it was more of we had a lot of excess college people running around. We had a lot of excess people just running around. It was a good time. America needed a little thinning of the herd, and I really think it was more about that than it was because there was no real reason for us to be there. It was strategically, it wasn't really a big deal for us. You got to kind of wonder why we were tied up in this. It was a good place for them to test drugs and shit like that. I noticed they did test LSD. Got
Yeah,
tested
and
in,
had the
in
communist North
Vietnam.
gotten it, what would have happened to us? Nothing really.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have
Think
mattered. I
about
mean,
it.
it
Really wouldn't.
was well. What was it? No, Johnny. Actually, today we're friends with Vietnam. Oh no, we do business
Yeah,
for Ho Chi Minh City and everything. Oh yeah, man, we do business with them. They even got
they
American tourists go over there now. Don't
they make most of your light bulbs nowadays. You go look on the box
just
when you buy your light bulbs next time at the hardware store. Look at the box. It says "Made in Vietnam," and that's
it's a
LEDs,
different
by the way.
world, people. Today's world is more about economics and commerce than it is about fighting. It's just America and China are trying to butt heads and who's going to be the economic leader for the next 100 years. China wants it to be them, but China just I like Xi Jinping, but he just trying to let communists run anything is just going to turn into a disaster. They'll be out
Yeah,
there with troops on the grounds and trying to get the UN to put troops on the grounds and stuff. Because people, you can't. There's no winning a revolution on this planet. If we become a one world government and the world decides to like the government, 8 billion people start to riot, you're screwed. No matter what kind of government you got, you're screwed. Yeah, you can kill them by the millions, and you're not going to have anybody left. Well, it's like all my Illuminati friends like to tell me, oh, they're going to take over, they're going to kill all these people. Really? Well, I wouldn't kill the people who are going to plow the fields or make the food or fix my
yeah.
electronics or my electricity. So any way it goes, it will always be the very powerful will always be outnumbered, usually a couple of thousand to one, because that's what it takes for one person, someone like Elon Musk. No, he's not high maintenance, but someone we'll use this. No, really, we'll say like Bill Gates. I mean, he has an entourage around him. They're following him around. He's got all kind of stuff. He's got research going on all the time. I mean, he just spins and spins and spins and spins and spins. And And it's just him, though. In the end, it's just him, and he's got to have all these people. The people who sells him his cars, the people who cleans his cars, the people who works on his cars, the lawyer that keeps his wife from taking all of his money. There's a lot. I mean, the guy who makes his food, the people who check him, the doctors that deal with him, all these people have to be around. And then if there's a problem, there has to be surgeons. So this is why when people tell me about the Illuminati, why it can't work, because if there's 100,000 of these rich people who want to be pampered and babied, then you're going to have 100 million or more people, or more, really more than that. No, probably closer to a billion. Yeah, I would think for every 50,000 of them, there'd be a billion of us, because you're going to need it. You got to plow the fields. You got to deliver it. I mean, it's not like, well, if you have to all want to live in one little spot, but they're not even going to want to do that because they stinky rich. Some are going to want to live in Europe. Some are going to want to live here. So there's got to be, it'll be kind of more like the old days when you had everything pop up around the leader's village or the castle or whatever. But still, it's not going to work. You can never have one wealthy person and kill off all the people around him, because then he's screwed. He's not going to go plow the field. No. He's going to drive down to the restaurant and say, why am I not getting service?
The people that you need are going to be the rich to supply, income to fund everything, and
Mm-hmm.
your middle and lower middle class and upper middle class to run the farms, process the food, work the retail businesses to get the food in and out. And the people are going to suffer are the ones that are dead in the middle, and the people that are at the other end. So the low income and the middle to high income that aren't like the very rich, but they're on the cusp of it. Those are the ones that are going to suffer the most. The ones that don't need a job because they produce no viable outsource of income. They're superfluous.
I don't. It's, well, people, So that's why I'm not so much worried about the Illuminati thing. I know y'all get mad at me when I say about it, and I'm not trying to debunk anything. Plus, so I was listening to the most powerful things on the planet and the family. There's really only one family that has the money to even consider this, but even they're not going to be able to unite everybody, because all the rest of them, like you people who call us Templars and all these other little groups out there, are just not going to agree. They just don't like each other. I mean, the real problem is, well, so you got the Bilderbergs and Templars. They're going to be like, nah, we don't really agree fundamentally on what you think, And then of course you got the Masons over here going, well, we don't like what either one of you think.
Mm-hmm.
And then don't forget, people, there's several other groups out there. I can't think of the snakes. What's the one the bushes are?
Skull and crossbones.
Skull and bones, yeah. There's them, but there's lots more than that. There's at least 20 or 30 of them out there.
At least. You got Rosicrucians, you got the Templars, you got, there's
so and the problem is they're just not going to all agree.
Hospitaller is another one.
Yeah, so trying to get them all to agree on anything, it's just not going to happen. So you can't really have a one world order government that way. There's only really one way to have a one world government, and that's through elections. But then there's problems with elections, because China and India, between them, have almost 3 billion people.
Mm-hmm.
So, how are you going to balance it out with countries that have 5 million people?
Yeah, you'll see things like we saw with the most recent election here in America. Something that overwhelmed I'm not a political science guy, but just looking at the county maps as the results are coming in, almost all the counties in all the big states, Pennsylvania, New York, all the outlying counties were red, Republican. They all voted Republican, but you got these 5, 3, 4, 5, 6 little dense city areas that are so densely populated with Democrats that those small areas overwhelmed the entire state.
Yeah. And you're seeing more and more of that.
If you do a global government, you're going to see that China is going to, overwhelm everybody else's vote. It's not a majority thing. If you count the people on the planet right now, the Asian culture, the Indians, the Pakistanis, and the Chinese are the largest race.
Well, see, that's going to be the problem, because then you'll have to have India vote with the West, and it'll be tough. And so, can you give every one of these people a vote? So will it come down to more of, will each country have a vote? Might be a better way of at least getting the worldly, because all the local leaders are going to be done, democratically in their own countries. So You just have to worry about the world leaders and maybe some of the ones right between them. So wouldn't it be easier just to say, okay, each country gets a vote. That way, it's square. If it's that's 200 votes, and you have to win them. How are you going to get them? Because it won't matter then. You're not trying to convince the population of China. You're just trying to convince Xi Jinping. Vote for
Yeah.
me, buddy. And or who George? I mean, who's? Oh, I'm sorry, Biden. Um, Biden. Can I vote for three people?
Hmm.
I don't know, people. I watched him today. He's oh my god! If I got to go find, if I can find this, I'm gonna play this for y'all. This Kamala Harris answer the other. Was it yesterday or today? Oh my god! Y'all think Biden's bad? Nope, 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 nope. She ain't got shit on Kamala Harris. This girl, blah 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 blah. I'm not kidding you. That's what it sounds like. I'm like, what are you saying? I mean, she's saying nothing. It's a serious question about inflation. The girl does a good job putting a question together, and she's like, blah 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 blah.
Basically, just
Blah
waffles all
blah.
over the answer.
Yeah, blah 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 blah
You
blah.
need to
You know,
play
and
that.
and I'm just like, shoot to me now. How can these people be running the in country? I'm sorry, people. I get aggravated with it's a good thing I'm older now. I used to get way far more aggravated than I did uh, with them today. We haven't even talked about the IRS whistleblowers. We'll get to that in a minute. And there's been so much lately of just so much bullshit of what's going on in our world. Oh, wait, was it Finland? Hold on, let me go back. I seen what we were talking about. Oh, Finland tells Russia to close its consulate and get the fuck out. Oh my God, they're like,
Wow.
get the out. You're no longer welcome here. We don't want you here anymore. And so now I love this one too. Just a side note. So the other day we got B-52s flying along, la 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 la. Like we do. We just fly them in the sky because we think we own the entire sky of the world. We just fly in our Stratus Fortresses along. In case y'all don't know what a Stratus Fortress is, it's a huge ass 8-engine bomber that can basically level. If it just drops targeted bombs, it can level a 3 mile by 2 mile area in a matter of seconds. But it can also carry up to, I think, nowadays up to 8 nuclear weapons. So and so the other day we just flying along, minding our own business, la la la. Hey China, what you know? Wait, we're gonna park right here in China's backyard. So we park a nuclear. Now we parked a nuclear missile sub in South Korea the other day. So y'all know this is a difference between a nuclear powered sub and a nuclear missile sub. So the U.S. has some subs that are a lot of our subs are nuclear powered, but a lot of them only carry cruise missiles now because of
Regular
the
ordnance,
treaty.
nothing,
Yeah.
no special ordinance.
So, but we have a few of them out there that have big nuclear weapons, multi-warhead weapons on them. Well, we just parked one in South Korea the other day and said, "What was that? Do you actually want to die, Kim Jong Un? We can level your country from here in a matter of moments, and then go about our business."
Probably with just one sub and just one missile.
It was only one. Yeah, it was just one sub we parked in there. One of it was a pretty serious sub we parked in there. And then where did we park this one at the other day? We just flew these B-52s right in there. It's just like it's somewhere with a couple of hundred. It's like 100 miles of their border or something. Damn, I just had it up here. I lost it, guys. Sorry. We're just proving to China. Look, we don't. You think you're badass? We know we're badass. You still have to prove to the world. And if you get in a war with us and lose, your country's done and over with.
Where did they
You
park
know,
them? In Pakistan?
no, it was somewhere closer than that. It was Indonesia, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, it was actually they landed in Indonesia. First deployment to the country. We're going to start deploying these there. Oh shit! This is like this, guys. This is like I think it's 30 minutes out of Beijing. Um, and really, it doesn't matter because once they're in the air, they can launch their missiles. I think their missiles have ranges anywhere from 2 to 6,000 miles. So I don't even think they even have to get close. Once they're in the air, I'm pretty sure they can go ahead and take it out. And yes, whoever said that, they carry an assortment of nuclear weapons. Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
That eight engine plane probably has a range of about 6 or 7,000 miles itself.
it has before having to refuel 8,800 miles. Jesus, it must have some monster tanks on it.
It can fly all the way to California on one tank.
Yes, it can. And so what they're basically telling China is we now can reach across your entire country from here while you're still worrying about us bringing in ships
Mm-hmm.
and submarines and planes from other sources. You're we just made it to where Xi Jinping, if he's in Beijing, can't get out. We can kill him. And that's all that just proved to him. It doesn't matter where he goes now. We're close enough to kill him. And what's good about these is they could be acting like they're flying somebody everywhere else and just drop two missiles, drop them below
Yeah.
cruise and below 500 feet and just
They
let them
could
cruise.
drop those missiles pointing towards California, and they could turn around and hit Beijing in a matter of minutes.
Beijing wouldn't have time to react to them. Whoever was there would be dead. It's not what y'all think, people. I mean, we're not trying to start a war. We just want to make sure nobody starts one with us. It's just how it comes down.
It's more of a preventative than anything else. It's a
If
proactive.
if China wouldn't be down in the South China Sea flexing muscle all over the place, remember we didn't do any deployments until China started harassing Taiwan and deploying in South China Sea. Then we got involved. We're like, no. You're not going to own the South China Sea. Sorry, buddy. That's just not going to happen. We're not going to go for that. We don't give a shit what island you have. We will sail right across the motherfuckers. We don't care. And so one of my favorite stories is this is recent. There's actually two of these are pretty good. Now, there's a couple of times that the United States has elected.
Oh, wait. Did you have to run some promos first, Joe?
Oh, we'll come back. After this, after we tell the story, we'll
Okay.
come back. So over the years, like so we had Ronald Reagan decided he wanted to prove a point to Russia and China one afternoon. So he's given a speech, and I think he was in Berlin. He was giving a speech, and at the same time the speech was going on, 4 nuclear-powered submarines, all carrying nuclear weapons, just popped up in 4 different places on 2 different oceans. In other words, so I forgot what the overall output was, but it was a lot. Plenty enough to flatten China and Russia. We wouldn't even have to bring in anything else. But nobody knew they were there. It took, I think they said Russia almost 7 hours to spot them. It took China 9 before they even knew they were there. So that's crazy. Well, Trump did this too, by the way. He sent 3 of them. Trump also, like the madman he is having dinner with Xi Jinping. And while he was having dinner with Xi Jinping, he sent a nuclear submarine. Where was it? To Syria, Libya, somewhere, and launched 90 cruise missiles while they were having dinner. He proves a point. He's not scared. He proved it to Xi. That's why Kim Jong-un disappeared all of a sudden, because he knew this crazy bastard was coming for him. He said, this dude is actually crazy. He might actually come blow my ass up. Oh, I'll let my sister run the country for a year or two. And it's and then there's other weird things that we have that we don't like to talk about, but submarines are deadly enough as it is. But right now, there's no city in the world that's not within 30-minute striking distance of any nuclear weapon we have. Some of them are actually quite a bit closer than that, like Moscow. We can hit Moscow in under 14 minutes. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Ain't nobody getting out of Moscow, my friend. Boop. And it won't be just one missile. That's what's so scary now. So you'll see a Titan come over, and you'll see it arc, and it'll come back in. And as it comes back into the atmosphere, you'll see it go bloom, 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 bloom. And about 16 warheads. Yeah. About 16 warheads. But out of that 16, about 5 of them themselves is going for Moscow. Yeah. And then any strategic nuclear bases is where the rest will be designated to go. And they will light up the countryside. And it won't be just one of these missiles. I think most of the subs carry between 16 and 20 missiles. So you do the math. They're going to light your ass on fire. And if they're anywhere near a sub tender to carry refueled weapons, they can refuel the whole sub in under 3 hours, rearm it, and send another load at your ass.
If I remember correctly, the Seawolf, not the Seawolf class, the Los Angeles class has 12 vertical stacks for launching nuclear tomahawks. Mm-hmm. The Seawolf has 14, and that new stealth one has 16. I'm not really sure. The new stealth one is still kind of top secret.
I read the other day something about a new ballistic missile for the Navy.
Yeah. They have a stealth one
If
coming
anybody
out.
listening to us tonight that's seen it, yeah, there's supposed to be a couple of them things coming out, and then, but we got stuff we don't know where it is, and when I remember when I was stationed in Nimitz, we'd be on the bridge. Sometimes we'd hear about different classified projects, but you never know if they manifested. Whatever happened to them? Did they come to fruition? Are they parked somewhere? Are we using them? Is it something else? I mean, what the hell's going on? Well, people, nobody. Hey, Stone Hobart, how you doing? Nobody wants to go to war, man. I mean, I don't want to go to war. I don't want to kill anybody. Mm-hmm. Don't mean I won't kill your ass if you threaten my family, but still. So, see, that's what the Chinese and the Russians have to worry about is if for some way they can break the military defense, they have to come in this country and root people like me and Jay out. I'm telling you, for every one of me, I'm going to kill about 30 of their asses.
Yeah.
I'm going to have the alligators so fat that every time they see something that looks Russian or Chinese, they're just going to eat it.
The instant a Chinese force lands on, like, just say California, I guarantee you almost every private and public gun dealer is going to hand out bullets like they're candies.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone that's old enough to hold a gun, they're going to give you free ammunition. There's no way China's going to take this country. Not by land.
You'd have to. The only way you can take the United States is to nuke us. That's really the only way you can do it. You'd have to, and if you wanted to claim the country,
some sort of chemical virus that decimates the population,
something like that. But see, that doesn't help the Chinese because then they killed their biggest market. See, that's the whole point of this, guys. Okay, if we get in a big war, we decimate China. They have no manufacturing. They decimate us. So they don't, not only do they don't have manufacturing, but they don't have their customers anymore. Plus, we're going to drag Europe into it. Or food. We're going to drag
Russia and America for the world's meat. Everyone eats for cereals and meds and breakfast stuff. So they're going to kill their food.
Well, I would imagine between us and our allies, we would have them cut off, with the exception of Russia. We'd have them cut off from everything else. There would be nothing getting into China. Just no. Well, that's how the Japanese beat them in World War II. They starved them. Yeah, they starved them out. So you'd see they got reels of Japanese landing on beaches and Chinese giving their guns for a bowl of rice. And they would give them their gun and they would give them a bowl of rice and they would shoot them in the back of the head. No, I'm not kidding. You go look for yourself. I know life is such a wonderful thing sometimes.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Guangdong province. What was the other province they took over? Deep in the middle of China is Guangdong. And
if they wouldn't have got into the United States,
yeah.
If they wouldn't have got into the United States, they would have united.
No, they took over Manchuria, the three states on the west eastern coast of it. But yeah, Manchukuo was run by the emperor's nephew or cousin. I can't remember which, nephew or cousin. And I mean,
Japan should have just stuck to that. That they would have at least China, half of China now. They wouldn't be our friends probably, but you never know.
They might be, but it's been a long, hard journey to get there.
Yes, because we were good friends and then we were enemies. It's so it just shows it wasn't really as good as friends as we thought. Well, no, guys, Japan. We didn't go bomb. Freaking Japan bombed us. We didn't bomb Germany either. Japan bombed us, and then Germany shot them, sunk one of our damn ships, and we had enough of it. Was that World War I? I always get World War I and II confused.
World War I was Germany sunk one of our ships. We got into the war. World War II is Japan attacked.
So we said, die, you commie bastards, which they weren't actually commies, but there was so much stuff America did that was on the seat of its ass that we just pulled off. Come on, we had 2 nukes, people. 2, that's it. And it'd be a while before we were getting the 3rd one. We were launching planes off of carriers, just praying to God they even got to their targets. We knew they weren't coming back. Air Force planes off of Navy. Oh yeah, man, it was insane the shit we were doing. But we were proving to the Japan we were not going to put up with this shit. You want a war, one way or another, we're coming to your homeland. Just know it, and we're coming. That's how it would be with China and Russia. I would think China's fairly advanced, but we'd have air superiority over China in less than 2 weeks, maybe 3.
Yeah.
The F-22 Widowmaker, China has nothing that can compete with it. They really don't have anything to compete with.
Hell, even the F-35, the little brother to the F-22, is outfly all their planes.
Yes. Well, yeah. Hold on, Jack. Okay, the F-35 is the latest version of any jet we've got, and it's supposed to be the best. But when you ask a pilot going into combat what would he rather have, first thing comes to, oh, I'd rather have the F-22.
F-22.
Yes, and we're going to keep them for another 30 years or so before we retire them, but they're badass. That's why Chinese and Russians hate them. Plus, these things are so badass, but on top of all their badassness, they can kill a Chinese or Russian plane long before they even see the
Yeah,
damn
even before their
F-22.
electronics detect it, they can shoot a
Damn.
missile, what, 7, 8 miles out, and then it's too late.
Yes. Plus, now we've got stealth coated missiles. This shit's getting wild. It's like watching something from the sci-fi TV series. The new
Mhm.
from rumors I've heard and things I've seen from being in another field that I'm in, the Gen 6 looks like it's going to be badass. And it looks like it may, should I say this? I wonder if I get in trouble with this, have space capabilities, meaning that it can go in and out of the atmosphere. So, in other words, it wanted to hit you.
Multi-atmospheric craft, and means it probably can go underwater as well.
Plus, it also means it can come in at speeds of Mach 27, Mach 30. Ain't no plane on the planet
Faster than
screwing with
any
it,
plane
man.
or missile.
No, ain't no missile, no nothing catching. It'll have to have drop ordnance that come out as it's flying. Oh yeah, because anything else it'll run over.
Yeah.
Oh. What do you mean? That's impossible. Okay. There's a thing called the space shuttle, in case you've never heard of this thing. Yes, the space shuttle. So re-entry on a space shuttle was anywhere from Mach 25 to Mach 32. Yes. Look it
I've
up
heard
for
Mach
yourself.
33, but yeah.
Yes, and it could be Mach 33. No, there was time, for some reason it had something to do with where it was when it re-entered, but somewhere anywhere above Mach 27 was going to be average. Dude, it was 100 and something flights. And none of them blew up because of the re-entry speed. They both blew up because of stupidity on humans' parts. We on both cases, this probably, when they had the hard freeze at the Cape, they should have stopped it and checked every seal. They knew that, and they said, oh no, it's not going to be a problem. Boom, it killed them. And the other time they seen the ice hit the damn thing on the way down, they should have went ahead and launched the escape pod or left it in space and got up by the damn space station and found what the problem was. They killed themselves. Yeah, it sucks. Well, they're heroes to everybody, but they killed it. This is not the astronauts, dumbass. NASA. The astronauts don't make those decisions. I hate to say it's not their call. One, they can't see anything hitting outside the spaceship. Mm-mm. It was bad calls on NASA's part. I'll still support NASA, but let's take a moment here before we play this commercial. So this guy called Elon Musk. Don't know who this bastard is. Crazy African guy, richest African American in the world. I know. Can y'all believe that? So, matter of fact, right now, currently, he is the richest man in the world.
No matter where he came
Yeah,
from,
it doesn't even matter. He's
everybody,
richest.
including Trump.
So, he's launched more missions in the last 6 months than India, China, Russia, the United States, and Europe combined. 4 times over. And each time, not only has he launched them, he's been successful, and he brings a son of a bitchin' thing back and lands it. Which none of these space programs, China said the other day, they actually admitted this. They think it's going to be 10 years before they can land one. 10 years. So
That's
that tells you something. Yeah. So then,
Right.
so here you're watching, and I like it because I used to preach about this when I first got into radio, way back before half you bitches even knew what radio was. I used to say all the time, if you ever want to see space program grow, privatize it. And I've been proven right every time. Bezos brought Kirk to space. I mean, we're now $10 quadrillion asteroid. You're shitting me. They got an asteroid they found that is worth more than the entire planet's economy, like tenfold. So, by the way, NASA's going first. So wait, so if we land there, if we get there, it's ours, right? Russia, China don't get none of this. So it's iron and gold and something else. I forgot what the other mineral was. 10 quadrillion. I didn't even know quadrillion was a damn thing.
Yeah, it's 4 of a trillion.
So, I mean, guys, that's ridiculous how much money that is. It's ridiculous how much this is. So this is another reason they want to go to space now. They want to start colonizing Mars. They want to colonize the moon. They want to set up colonies out in the asteroid belts. Really, they want to start colonies in asteroid belts and use Mars to do all the refining because it'll be easier. It'll be easier on people walking. It'll just be an easier work environment. As long as they can protect you from the radiation, it'll be an easier work
Yes,
environment.
A, B, and they can feed you and clothe you, and C, if they can make precision parts like ball bearing.
What happened? Jay got ball bearing in the head or something. I don't know what happened to him there. He got locked up. It froze him up. He'll be back in a minute. There he is. He's back. Right as you said that, looked like a ball bearing hit you inside the head, man. You went.
It must have ting.
I know it's good stuff. And you got laser printers now that can not just print plastic anymore, but steel and all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah. They're advertising a printer that I just saw on one of those games. It's one of the game ads. It's something you can get at your home, and you can inscribe things on metal object. You can personalize your knives, your kitchen cutlery, the disc brakes on your car, whatever you put on this thing. You can laser engrave whatever you want into it.
So Helen, you're right. Elon's going to go to Mars. He's going to build this fortress on Mars, the Fortress of Doom on Mars. He's going to weaponize the hell out of it. Nobody else is going to get to come to Mars after that, and he's going to start his own world. He's already said he wanted to start. He didn't call it Mustville, but he wanted to start his own country based on his belief system. Can it be any worse than the one we live in? I don't know.
Can it be any better? Is maybe the question.
That's really the question. I don't know, and that is really the question, isn't it? What was that? Rasputin. Sorry, I was trying to say that a different way.
Yes. That kind of starts to sound like cultism a little bit. Him starting his own culture and whatever.
No, I mean, people do that. L. Ron Hubbard started his own religion. Shit, God started his own religion. I mean,
well, was it God or was it man that started the religion?
It was probably man that started religion. God, Jesus just started the preaching. If you read the St. Thomas Epistle, I'm pretty sure it's anti-religion in church.
Yeah, we talked about that. In fact, before I came on the show, before I went on to the Church of Mavis, I was watching the network, and one of our old shows with you, me, and Emily, we were talking just about exactly that, and I
haven't seen
which is a great thing, but when they redacted we were talking about the segment, we were talking about the Bible and the Council of Nicaea, and when the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered that they had been pulled out of the Bible. It's a different story if you put those Dead Sea Scroll stories.
Yes, it changes everything.
The Bible incredibly,
but it's not even those. You can actually leave those out. So I have seen, now that I've gotten older and understand what religion actually is. So just the Bibles alone, just the Bibles that the Christians use, not the Catholics and everybody, there are all kind of shit that was elected to be left out. I mean, all kind of stuff. So it's kind of strange when you look at it because it is. It's all just left out of there. It's stuff that they decided didn't need to be in the Bible. Well, who the hell made this decision? You're not Christ. I mean, shouldn't everything be in the Bible?
Everything he said to be in the Bible. I mean, one of his main tenets was he preached mainly about returning to a matriarchal society, which would have probably been better than what we have now. Who knows? We can't say. The ideas were quashed. The idea of the 13th apostle being Mary Magdalene and also his wife was taken out. There's probably
they didn't want to leave. They didn't want to leave a family line on earth. I remember a friend of mine who was a bishop told me that. He said, actually, when I went to visit, this was a long time ago, but when I went to visit the catacombs, that's what I was told. They didn't want to leave a lineage they could follow on earth, because a lot of people think the Sinclair lineage is the lineage of Christ. And I met Ariel Saint Sinclair. If that's the lineage of Christ, we are all in deep, deep shit, people. Yes. Run and hide as fast as you can, because he is.
Research shows more of the Merovingian kings where the line of Christ went.
See, that's what I'm saying. So, and I've heard at least two others besides that. It's just, and I think it's better that we don't know. I think it's best. Well, put it this way, Janine, no one really knows if somebody would have already outed it. I mean, the person who could out the actual family line of Christ would be so wealthy. It would just make
so wealthy or so assassinated.
It could be assassinated too, but if it wasn't, you'd make Elon Musk look like a poor man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you'd be the first trillionaire on
You'd be a beggar in the streets.
It's I don't know how but Well, no, because there was some Templar stuff. One of the Templar families was supposed to be the one that was shielded, but they say what happened was the Templars was wiped out. The line of Christ was wiped out as well because no one knew. Could be true, could not. I don't know. Templars would have been a good choice for them to protect him because before the king turned on the Templars, they were quite powerful. But I forgot which king it was. Was it French king Louis? Somebody, I can't remember who it was. Turned on their asses though.
It was a French king. I'm not sure if it was Louis or one of the ones before him, like in the 14th.
Yeah, I believe it was around the 14th. Yeah,
century.
it was somewhere right around.
The main base of the Templars at that point was in Carcassonne in France, which is actually now a really cool tile board game. But yeah, they started there and just went through the country, and anybody who was wearing the symbol of the Templars was immediately killed and set upon.
Yes. Well, Templars sometimes you get too powerful for your own good. And when you preach against whatever religion or government it may be, you may find yourself dead.
But and if you create your own bank to fund yourselves, that makes you a government, an entity to be reckoned with.
And everybody still swears today, even the king didn't get all their loot. Well, no, they were supposed, but they also were supposed to leave a lot of it. They also supposedly left a lot of it in the Middle East. I don't know. I mean, I've never, any one of those Pakistani and Iraqi and Iranian governments could have found it a long time ago. It might be how they fund some of the stuff they did.
Yeah.
But we don't know because they're not going to tell us. Nobody's going to tell us if they find that kind of stuff. Oh, we can't tell them that. That's for damn sure. But real quick, we got to pay some quick ads. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We got a lot more news to talk about. We only got Jay for a little while longer, so I got
to dip at midnight.
Yes, because he's got to get up in the morning like a normal human being.
Crack it down.
Yes, I'm done with my week. Yes, but hang on right quick, guys. We're going to run these ads, and we'll be right back about 3-4 minutes. And go vote while we're talking about this.
You are listening to UPRN, United Public Radio Network, coming to you live on 105.3 right up to 107.7 FM from the beautiful city of New Orleans. UPRNTalkRadio.com.
Looking for stories that are fresh and new? Dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, cyberpunk, alternate history, and more. They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology from 24 award-winning authors and illustrators, plus art and writing tips and bonus stories. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Buy your copy at galaxypress.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.
All right, everybody, it's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcast. Yes, it is that time of year again. There's a show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. UFO Undercover in the category of entertainment. UFO Undercover brings you some of the most revealing and current research that is being done with respect to alien abductions and contact. Host Joe Montaldo has been an abduction researcher for over 35 years and is uniquely qualified to bring you live interviews with some of the most well-known researchers in ufology. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate UFO Undercover in the category of entertainment. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and get out and vote now.
All right, everybody, it's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. The Outer Realm in the category of Best Female Hosted Podcast. The Outer Realm is a very popular show hosted by Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano, which boasts millions of listeners each week who are well known for and have been complimented on their very laid-back, roundtable style of interviewing. Together, this dynamic duo brings you the best of the best with guests from around the world who are well-versed within their respective fields of ufology, paranormal, esoteric, and other areas of high strangeness, and more. So go to podcastawards.com to nominate The Outer Realm in the category Best Female Hosted Podcast. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and do it now.
It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast. In 3 categories: education, storyteller drama, and art. For 4 years, the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast has provided advice and tips from international best-selling authors, world-class artists, contest judges and winners, and industry professionals, based on the world-famous Writers of the Future contest created in 1983 by L. Ron Hubbard to help the aspiring writer and artist, no matter their age. It is dedicated to the future of storytelling and art by showing that it is never too late to start, and those who make it are those who never give up. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast in any or all of the 3 categories: education, storyteller drama, and art. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and go out and vote now.
Hey there. It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. The News on the Flipside, in the category of politics and news. News on the Flipside is a much different news and political program which is not deemed as opinion news. Listen as Joe Montaldo brings to you just the facts from trusted sources which will allow you, the people, to make up your own minds on the various stories being reported on. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate News on the Flipside in the category of politics and news. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and do it now.
Looking for stories that are fresh and new? Dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, cyberpunk, alternate history, and more. They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology. From 24 award-winning authors and illustrators, plus art and writing tips and bonus stories. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Buy your copy at galaxypress.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.
Welcome back, everybody. Really, get out and vote. Yeah, People's Choice Podcast Awards. Get your asses over there and vote. You want to hear me cry all year? Don't go vote. Come on, I want to win. I want to win. I want to win. I want to win, people. I hate losing. Well, no, because we've got runner-up or whatever it is. We always make it to round 2, so it's not. It's not the same. What the hell? Oh, my alarm system's going off. Yes, you know your alarm system's like set to Chihuahuas. Yeah. That's how my alarm system set. It's set to Chihuahua land. Anyway, go get out and vote, people. Also, if you haven't got volume 39 of Writers of the Future, the last contest, it's a great book. You should go out and get it. That is it, right? Right. Since John's not here to show y'all, let me show y'all right quick. It hurt if you see me carry. That's it right there. Got some great art in there. Got some great stories in there. You heard a list of the stuff they write about. Yeah, cyberpunk and a whole bunch of other stuff. Science fiction.
On the cover, I forget who did the picture on the cover, but
this is
Kevin Anderson.
Yeah,
wrote a story based on that picture.
Yes, and I think you met the guy who did the cover on here, Tom Wood. He was on with one. I don't know. I know Trish was on with us that night. I don't know if you were or not.
I don't recall. I don't think I was.
This is actually from one of the winners, Lazarus Black. He won the contest last year. So this is The Dragons of Atlanta. Nice book. Check it out. It's autographed. Sorry, you can't have it. So the rule is, people, I'll give away almost any book. I can't give away any right now because we're selling books right now. This one is Non-Human by Gary Haslam. This is a good book, too. It's about the Rendlesham Forest case. Go and check them out. Well, I have a rule. If you've been on my show and you have a new book that you're wanting to get out, it's a good book, you can get on the spot right here, and we'll give you. Oh, you mean Bob? Oh, hell no! You got to pay to be in Bob's spot. Sorry, Bob. He's the freaking alien, people. You just don't go moving him around. Come on now. If y'all notice those
oversee everything, right?
That's right. And y'all just leave Bob alone. You don't screw with the alien won't screw with you. How's that? Anyway, a lot been going on with aliens, all sorts of stuff. I know, so nice that I was actually doing something on UFO Uncover instead of something else. Well, no, so you got to pay attention with that. If you're looking for me on Wednesday and you see the Joe Montaldo show, it's going to be it's going to be something other than ufology. It could be anything, but it's going to be something other than ufology. On Friday nights, it's usually news, but we've been doing a lot of award stuff lately because we're trying to win some awards. And we only get Jay sometimes. Well, his wife is a bitch, man. I met the bitch. She is, whew, man. Yes. No, people, y'all should send him money, really. You should feel for this man. Send him money so he can buy this crazy woman roses or chocolate or some shit. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Y'all be me. Look, guys. I know, ladies. I know y'all been through this too. Just Jeannie, just because you're listening, what's that got to do with anything? You got an old lady, right? You want to appease her, so you should understand that Jay needs, just send him a little love. Yeah, a little $5, $10. Yeah, send the man some love. Oh God, y'all are insane. Um, it's a strange group that we get that comes in here. I know in the other chat room, in the YouTube chat room, I had seen a couple people stop by. I know Roseanne had stopped by, and I think Snowy Rabbit had stopped by.
Yeah, Roseanne's in the Facebook Messenger.
Yes. Hello, Roseanne. How are you tonight? Okay, people. Bitch, because my hair is down. Yes, because it's 200 degrees in Louisiana. It's hot.
Yeah, it's hot up here too.
Yes. No, that wasn't our sub. Yeah, I did hear the story, and it was a $3 billion sub, and it almost sunk because they left the door open. But it wasn't. I forgot what country it was. It wasn't ours though. Not to say we couldn't do something
if they
stupid
left the screen door open, it was Poland's submarine.
I didn't say that, Poland. I love you people. I love you people.
Sorry, Poland. It's an old joke.
That's like Jamaica's sled team.
Yeah.
So true story, people. I was up north. I'm not even gonna tell you exactly where I was, but anyway, we were up for the Olympics, and I met these three guys. And a good friend of mine who was on leave at the time from the service, no less, says, "Hey, anybody got a fatty?" And I'm like, "A fatty what?" He said, "Joe, don't be naive." So all of a sudden I'm sitting there. This is like some damn country song about Willie Nelson. I'm sitting there. I'm freaking high. And I don't even know why I'm high. I'm like, what the? So I look up. They got this thing. This is like something you'd see at Mardi Gras. It's this big and this long. It looks like big bamboozler paper or something, which I don't know what that is, by the way. I'm like, Jesus, people. And he just says, "You're not going to smoke it." And like two of them just go, and the cloud just goes, it's like,
you had no choice to smoke it. You were getting to anyway.
It's so freaking high. Oh, man, I have no kind of, I don't know what it was, people. It was, whatever it was good because I was high as a kite. But I actually got to meet them there. And the question was, and I had just started radio. I'd been in radio maybe 4 months. And I asked the dude, I said, "Do y'all like drive them things?" He said, "Man, that's the only way I can get in the thing." He said, "If I ain't high, I ain't getting in." He said, "That thing might kill you." I was like, "Oh my God." I said, "Don't worry, I won't make it public." But this was like 23 years ago, people. Yeah, whoever just asked that question, it was a long time ago. Jay was just a pup back then. Yes,
I was 36 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was just a pup. No, I don't tell. I get in trouble all the time because one of my young friends will say, "Well, Dad, Joe, I'm 37. I'm such a baby." God damn, Joe, I'm not a baby. Sorry, I've not been offending any guys, but he's, "I'm not a baby." I'm like, "Oh, no, I know you're not." I said, "I understand." I said, "When I was 37, I'd have got offended by that too." He said, "But at my age I am now, I look back and go, you're just a naive baby, man. You just already know what's coming next." And they're like, "You can't be out." I'm like, "Yeah." I love when people tell me shit like, "You can't say that on the radio." I'm like, "Really?" And then, this one lady, this was hilarious. So I get this email about something I said, something outrageous. It was probably something just outrageous. And she said, "You can't say that." She said, "The FCC will get you." I said, "For what?" I'm on, this ain't on FM. This is on internet. There's nothing they can do about whatever I said. Because I still didn't know what the hell I had no idea. Still to this day, I don't know what this woman was going on about. And she's like, "Well, you don't think your boss will fire you?" I said, "No." I said, "Michelle is a bitch." I said, "But she's not gonna fire me." And she said, "Who's Michelle?" The other woman. And I'm like, "What other woman?" She was talking about Stephanie, by the way. And I'm like, what archive did you listen to? Come to find out, this thing was 11 years old, 12 years old. And I forget because sometimes, with the good audio, and sometimes we don't date them, and it says live on the banner on the thing, people just assume they're listening live. I apologize, people. We're not actually trying to trick y'all. It's just easier to do it that way. Yes. And the audio does come on the news site automatically. Yes, it does. Just be grateful I didn't put the video like that. All you got to do is hit pause. Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's at the top of the page. I did see Biden. I'm going to go look for Kamala in a second, but I did see Biden. Biden's going up the ramp. They're asking a question. Biden's going up the ramp. No, I'm just kidding. People, he went to it. He couldn't get his hand up far enough to do it. That's all. I seen him raise his hand up to about here. In spirit, he was giving y'all the bird. I'm just, I don't even know what to think about him. You'd have to ask Jay. He's just, Jay's a normal person. Got 3 kids, 2 wives.
Don't have any kids.
Yeah.
I can consider my cats and the dog kids. Yeah, so that would be 5.
What the hell? Disney heiress arrested outside private luxury airport in New York.
Huh?
What the?
Pitching a tantrum at the airport?
I guess. I'm not. CNN reporter breaks down IRS whistleblower testimony about Hunter Biden. Okay. CNN, don't take this. And I haven't heard this, so I don't want to hate, but don't take this the wrong way, CNN. You couldn't break down a wet paper bag with a pair of scissors. You can't. I don't know what happened to y'all. Y'all are the most dysfunctional network anywhere on the planet. I mean, you make frickin' Pravda News look like they know what the hell they're doing. Mm-hmm. And Pravda just does whatever, Putin tells them what to do.
They make Chive and The Onion look like legitimate outlets for news. People, it pisses me off. Don't excuse me with language, but so I got used to CNN doing Desert Storm. So I wasn't a big CNN watcher. I was watching something else. They were winning all kinds of awards for that.
So one night, the war's going on, I don't know, a week or two. So one night I'm sitting down and I'm watching on CNN. I'm like, son of a bitch, these guys are crazy. And I'm watching, they're hanging up balcony, running through the streets. They're getting screamed at by the Iraqi people, by the Iraqi policemen, the military. And I mean, they're just, and still they're out there. And you can see it, man. They're on the porch. Boo! Big explosion knocks their asses down. They had mattresses and shit falling. They put their asses in a sling, and they did some serious reporting. And they got down in the street, and they talked to the military, and they talked to the Iraqi soldiers. And they actually they did their job. And I was like, all right. And then when we got back to just America, and they were doing hard-hitting news. They like NBC used to be back in the day. They were doing hard-hitting news, going after people, and then all of a sudden, couldn't tell you exactly when it happened. They became a left-wing rag, just like NBC, ABC, and CBS. So, well, no, it's not that, people. Liberals just bought them. It's like Twitter. So Twitter used to be owned by a liberal, and if you go back and look at all the stuff that Jack Dorsey and them put out, it's a bunch of garbage that all has been debunked or disproven. And of course, Elon's coming in here and you showed how this was used against Trump in the election, along with other stuff with Facebook. I mean, he busted the FBI, he busted everybody. And that's the difference between someone who really believes in democracy and someone who's being paid, which was Jack Dorsey. He was being paid probably by the FBI. Elon is from another country. He understands. I mean, he's from South America, people. Not South America, he's from South Africa. He actually understands what freedom is. When he came to the United States, he found real freedom. Like when you talk to immigrants that come to this country, and I've talked to a lot over the years, they marvel at the kind of freedom they have here. Where most Americans are just like, duh. These people actually marvel and cannot believe how nonchalant our citizenship takes it. And our citizen takes it until there's a problem. But we've gotten now where no matter what goes on, there's always going to be a split down the middle instead of, there just seemed like there might have been some voting discrepancies. Why don't we just look at it from both sides and see what we find? And if we find something, we go forward. If not, we just, do away with it. But we're not even doing that. We're like, no way that happened. Or we're using our office to arrest people and put in jail now. And it's not just here. This has happened in Canada as well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand what the Democrats thought. I said this the first time with the Russian thing. I said, I don't know what the Democrats are doing here. They're just making Trump more famous, and more than likely, most of it's going to be debunked.
Yeah. Well, any negative propaganda against him is just keeping him in the limelight. It's bolstering his numbers in the election.
Well, it's pushing independents to him now.
Yeah.
Because now even they're saying, okay, I heard an independent just today. Well, a group of them, so they're having lunch. Left wing reporters asking them, and the lady stands up. She says, "I'm speaking for the group," which was about 500 people. She said, "We're voting anything but left." She said, "I'm sorry, guys." She said, "But your party has just lost its meaning. Doesn't care about us. Doesn't care about anything. Biden just doesn't care in general about anything. I mean, when people tell him how hard they got it, he's like, "Oh, it's not that bad. Gas only $3 a gallon." Yeah, really? Gas was $1 a gallon before this, dude. I mean, he's just, and they really have. I mean, they've kind of really swung the other way now, and they're letting everybody know we're not voting that way. And you can tell when DeSantis easily took three blue counties in Florida. That should have been just a big red beacon for the Democrats. Beep beep. Dade County hasn't voted red. I couldn't even tell you when. I might not even been alive the last time. And they voted, and and DeSantis won easily. He's liked amongst a lot of Democrats, and now we're finding more Democrats are leaning more towards let's impeach the president. This guy is just dangerous. Well, people, he don't know what he's talking about. I'm watching him today. He's speaking to the world leaders. He's like, what he reminded me of one of them cartoon girls. What are they called? Oh shit, I can't think of it now. But he's just, y'all wanted to hate on Trump. Trump had the world under control. China wasn't doing anything stupid. Russia was like, "What? We're not going to start any wars." North Korea, he disappeared off the face of the planet. And here we are now, all that hard work. I mean, great economy, great money. Things were booming. The world was booming.
Right down the
we were making our allies and our enemies pay their dues for a change. And we come right back to the old ways. And, I do see a lot of these. I love these signs. I see Trump versus the Illuminati, Trump versus the Skull and Bones. Look. Oh, no, he can still get in. So let me explain how this works, people. So if he gets a felony, technically he's not eligible for the presidency. But if he's got an appeal on the felony, he is still eligible for president. So if he does win, he can just pardon himself. It's a bitch, people. It's a bitch. And there are some things they can't go after him for, even if he's president. So, and by the time he gets out, most of the statute of limitations will be over and all that stuff. He's got some pretty good lawyers. We'll just see where it goes. The secret stuff, top secret stuff, most of that's going to get bounced because of other people who have left stuff. I mean, Trump had it locked up in a safe. Regardless of what he took, he had it locked up in a safe.
Yeah,
the document they found about Joe somewhere. Yeah, that document that they found that was a serious document that was there, and in a household of people where we know his son may or may not have been hooked up with the Ukrainians and the Chinese, so he could have easily went out there, took pictures of that documents, sent them to China. No one would ever know anything, and I just forgot him there. And what were you doing setting them on? I mean, you were vice president this time. Were you that ignorant that you just set them down? And they stayed there the entire time. Now, I heard a reporter ask him, "Don't you take your car?" He said, "Yeah, I take it out from time to time." But now Lafola's sitting there. What? You didn't even look at it? And yet the press lets this son of a bitch lie about everything. People, y'all should come down on the media like a freaking ton of bricks. I mean, you allow the media to lie to you and just buy the bullshit because you know damn good and well Biden is not running this country. Biden does not have our best interests at heart. And Biden does
not have a grasp on the situation, any of them.
No, what do you mean, Governor Newsom? He could try to run. It's getting pretty late, though. He's going to have to get in pretty soon if he's going to. Well, you want me to tell you what I think is going to happen? So in the early days, everybody was worried about DeSantis winning the primary and Trump running as an independent and busting it up. That way the GOP wouldn't win. But then recently it sounded more and more like Kennedy is going to run as an independent if he don't win the primary. And he'll get enough votes to keep Biden out of office.
Yeah, and he has enough money to do it.
Yes, he does. Oh, he's got friends that'll do it. There's a lot of people that just don't want Biden in.
he shouldn't have gotten in the first place. But that's a different story. We can't fix that. But yeah, I mean, you talk about everyone hates Trump. You hate Trump. You hate buying $3 worth of gasoline per gallon. We were at $1.94, I think, when Trump lost, and then within 6 months of Biden taking over, we're up in almost $6 a gallon category. That's outrageous. I'm surprised that people didn't lose their jobs permanently because they couldn't pay gas to go there.
You just got to wonder. But what bothers me is how ignorant America has become. It's like sometimes they just don't go look for themselves, or they believe. A couple of weeks ago, I'm listening to this story on NPR, which, God, people, NPR is like listening to communism. Okay? I just can't, I don't know. It is really like listening to communism. So they're going on and on and on and on. And I'm thinking, are you going to ever get to anything that's true? Some little old lady calls in and just rips them a new ass on. What are you talking about? Nothing of what you just said was true. She said, and you want to do what? How you want to educate our children? Because they were talking about transgender, when you should be allowed to decide what age is appropriate. And when I got asked myself, I said 21. I said, just like everything else in our country. I said, I look at a different view from y'all. I said, if he can't go to war, or he can't drink, or he can't vote, then he shouldn't be allowed to decide what gender is. I mean, if you don't think he's mature enough to do something as easy as vote, then how can he possibly be mature enough to decide this?
A life-altering surgery that cannot be reversed. Yeah.
So I said 21.
Even better age, because that 26 or higher is when your brain is set in its adult.
Well, the majority of people, including the majority of transgenders, where they all agreed that it should be over 21. A lot of people said 25, but still, they all agree. Well, the NPR lady said, she just tried to do an entirely different story and say, oh no, they think you should be able to choose. Actually, she said that from kindergarten up, your teacher should be able to choose for you.
Yeah,
teacher should be able to choose your gender. I'm like, really?
Why not
I
the
mean,
parent?
I had a lot of screwed up teachers, man. I know. Why not the parents?
Why not the parent?
Because the parents might, hold back and not do them. And I also bitched about the counseling. I said everybody should be on some counseling. I said they shouldn't be forced counseling, but they should be offered it. Because I got into it with a lady, Jean Rahan, from the abortion people. I can't think of their name now. They're more than just abortions, but we call them the abortion. It's a clinic that the liberals run around the country. Damn. But I got into it with them about several things. I'm like, look, you can't just, you should offer counseling. I said, I'm not saying that the counselor should try to talk the person out of an abortion or trans whatever, but they should have the option to talk to someone.
And that option should be to allow them to discover whether they should continue on that transgenderism route or to not.
Yes, but I mean, they should be offered counseling so they have someone to talk to, someone that really has nothing to, gain by listening to them. But liberals, because I told the girl I said, look, you're just sounding like you're just trying to rack up points. That's what it sounds like to me. It doesn't sound like you really care who's having an abortion or who's doing what. It just sounds like the more you get, the more money you get. I said, that's what it really sounds like to me. Planned Parenthood, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I got into it with a couple of people that work for them. And it's just, look, don't bullshit me. You're offering good things. That's fine. Offer counseling. That's a good thing to offer to anybody. I hear all the time how mental health needs to be taken in consideration. Well, why aren't we pushing Planned Parenthood on this? We're pushing everybody else. Gene, you mean a war? Hopefully there won't be a war. Well, you're talking about Notre Dame or okay, you can go Notre Dame or Genesis on this. Either one, whatever you want to choose. The bear, the eagle, the bear, and whatever the other one was, the yellow horde, whatever. Yes, it actually says the eagle gets squashed and then it comes back and eats everybody's head off. Not quite like that, but I changed the story just a little bit. But no, it does say that. What it really says is and this was written before any of the countries that exist today. It really says that Russia and China would have took on the United States, and the war would have been devastating for the United States. And then the United States and Russia, United States and China got together and wiped out Russia. And then it goes on to say that the United States took advantage to take China under control. Well, because it goes up to 3,300 years when they says we're a very space-faring race. Yeah, it actually shows a grand future after all of this. Yeah. Who knows? It's one of his quatrains. You can go look it up for yourself. You ain't got to take my word for it. The 911 thing, I don't believe. No, because I never heard of it before 911. I don't believe it. You can't. Okay. So I said this. I've talked to a couple of groups of psychics since then. And my thing is why didn't anyone know ahead of time? Every now and then there is precog stuff that people pick up on. No one knew about this. And even for weeks after this, no one really would say that. And then all of a sudden, a year, 2, 3 passes. Oh, but I felt no bullshit. You didn't feel it. Nobody, for some reason, this thing was just, and it had to take a while to put this together. It's amazing no one busted them. New Yorkshire went looking for missing people from those buildings. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Nope, sorry. I've talked to a lot of people who did different. No. We had a couple of people on who did like the metallurgical. We had, I think, 9 specialists that worked on the building. Yeah. Well, no. When I asked them, even they were kind of dismayed exactly how this all came down. They had theories, but nothing concrete. They still don't. Well, it took down, 7 buildings? It wasn't like it just took down one building. It took down 7.
A total of 11 buildings, I think.
It was 11 down. It was a lot.
7 of them were the actual World Trade Center complex, and then 3 or 4 like outlying buildings next door and like in the general vicinity. 11 total buildings.
Well, Gene, I'll tell you this much, and this is probably one of the things that helped us all. There was a massive underground cave system that connected all the buildings together. So I guess if you could create a big enough concussive shock to push a force through there and that it could break all those barriers out, then yeah, I guess you could bring those building down. My problem with all that is how slow they came down. If you'd have blown all those out, the building just would have came down. It would have been like an implosion like you see on television.
Yeah, if they'd have blown out the caves or caverns below, they would have collapsed in a much different way. What they did collapse from was from heat and metal strain. I mean, you can see the buildings slowly, just the top levels. Just when they start to pancake, it's Lego effect. It's domino effect.
Well, it's because everything was connected, everything could breathe. There was a lot of jet fuel got dumped down in there, and people were saying, "Well, jet fuel is not hot enough." Actually, jet fuel is plenty hot enough.
It's plenty hot enough, and these planes were full. They just left JFK and maybe the other airport in town, and they went right into those buildings. Then where do they keep the gas on airplanes? Does anybody know? It's in the wing. The wing is the gas tank. That's a lot of fuel. Plus, inside those buildings, there's synthetic materials, the rugs, the carpeting, the walls, the ceilings. There's enough material there even if the jet fuel didn't get hot enough, the jet fuel was hot enough to cause fires within several levels, 10 levels, 5 levels, whatever it was, and all the material inside the building gets hot enough, it melted that metal and it just collapsed.
Exactly what happened.
It was engineered to fall that way if there was ever a high level fire up on those upper levels.
Well, yes, guys, and it stuck us in war for how many years? More than I even want to count. 20, 25? It was a lot of years. Thank you, Christopher, for this. What did you send us here? Let's see. Trump is 48% of the vote. DeSantis 23, Pence 3, Ramsey 3, Haley 3, Scott 4. Everybody else is 0. Democrat presidential Biden 69% of the vote. Kennedy 7 and Williamson 5%. Okay, Biden DeSantis 46, 42, Biden, Trump, 47, 43. Of course, these both have a +4 margin, which means it's probably about dead even.
Yeah.
These are also Yahoo News, so we're not going to get too crazy on that. Michigan Republican Research, they got Trump at 69%. Michigan's got Biden at 75. These are all against their own components. Let's see. Michigan versus Trump did even 45, 45. Biden versus DeSantis 44, 31. I don't trust these numbers. This is all Michigan State too.
Yeah.
Then they got the rest of these. Let's see.
What's the year-round average temperature for Michigan? It was something like -4.
No. Let's see. Oh, Utah, we got Trump 29, DeSantis 24. Ooh, not bad, people. That's a tight race. But remember, guys, Trump's got to win a lot of these. Can't just one or two is not enough for him to win this. Let's see what we got down here. Oh, now this is Reuters poll for Trump. They got Trump 47, DeSantis 19. Ooh, pins up on him there. For Biden 63, Kennedy 15. Ooh, Biden. That's plenty enough to end your election chances. Biden job approval. Disapprove 57%. Ooh. I know. Well, it says 37% approved. But there's some middle ground in there they're lying about. So
yeah, I know. Someone's telling fairy stories over there.
So New Hampshire, Biden 70, Kennedy 10. That's still enough to end that. Trump 54, 25. Let's see. Biden, Kennedy 71, 15. Biden, Trump 47, 45. Yeah, that's another. Might as well be a dead heat. Job approval rating, Quinnipiac. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and all of these are just basically exit polls. And do you really believe anyone who comes out and tells you who they voted for?
It's not even that. I mean, it's these polls here. It really just comes down to who you're reading. Is it red or is it blue?
Yeah.
Right now, that's how it's falling out.
But like I said, I mean, can you even trust the polls anyway? What if people come out of those polls that are Republican and someone says, "Who'd you vote for?" and they pick the Democratic guy just to throw the numbers off. So they got plus or minus errors of like 4 and 5%, and it's always winds up being sort of a dead heat. These numbers mean nothing until the actual real elections start coming in and the real numbers.
I want to meet the 45% of Democrats who did the monolith poll who think the economy's good.
Yeah, they need to be smashed virulently against the head with a 2x4. I don't see how spending $3.80 to $3.60 on gasoline is a viable economical situation for anybody. I mean, they're driving the prices of like things we need, like lemonade and milk, to outrageous proportions. I mean, just $5 for a gallon of milk. Come on, that's ridiculous, people.
Let's see. Congressional job approval rating: 18% approved, 61 disapproved. Congressional job on monolith: 20 approved, 69 disapproved. Direction of country: right direction, wrong track. So 67% of people think we're on the wrong track.
Yeah, well, that's
on almost all of these. These are, by the way,
that's
these
probably
polls
the most accurate poll you've read out so far.
These are blue polls, by the way, people. When I say that, these are places. Most of these polls, are Democratic. So New Hampshire, there you go.
Democratic.
But Trump's putting it on. DeSantis is catching up to him. Trump better get out there and get the hustling. This is, where is this? Ohio. Trump 48, DeSantis 23. Ohio for Biden 67-13. Trump Biden.
Isn't Ohio traditionally like a Republican state?
It is. No, that's Biden. Kennedy is 67-13. Trump is 47-38 on Biden. He's 44% of the states said they're going to vote for Trump. 38% said they won't. They'll vote for Biden. And on this one, DeSantis actually wins in Ohio too. He actually beats out Biden by 1 point.
I can see that because like half of the state of Ohio lives in Florida during the winter months, so
Yeah.
that actually makes sense.
So general election polls. This one, Trump and Biden even. This one, DeSantis and Biden are 2 points apart. This is people we don't care about for the Senate and the House and all at the moment. It's I don't know. Kennedy's got just about 15 points in every one. So if he decides to be the spoiler, it's pretty much over for the Democrats. They're gonna do everything they can to keep him out. But he's pissed, and he sounds more like a Republican than he does a Democrat. That's what's so funny.
That's probably why they're putting the quash on him.
I know. It's Biden. This is a Biden Trump. See, I noticed they don't have any of the good polls here. Oh, here's Florida. Trump 50, Biden 39. DeSantis 40, Biden 36. Approval rating for Biden 60%. It's Rasmussen. It's direction of the country. Rasmussen 60% say going the wrong way. So, and this is just what is this 2014 or something? These aren't the best polls. And there's lots of polls out there, people. But remember, when you read a poll, always read into the poll, meaning that most polls are only going to be, most polls are only going to be 100 to 1,000 people. Okay. Now I'm getting ready to run some polls we own American Polling Company, so I'm going to run some starting. Not probably for another month, but we're going to start running. Now these polls stay up for the entire election times. We update them, but you can see them. We don't even consider them a legit poll till they break 10,000. We prefer if they'll get up to 100,000 because that really shows you true direction. You're not guessing anymore. You can actually see, okay, 100,000 people said they're voting this way. It looks pretty good. Because I don't trust polls. I've seen too many polls. For the last 2 or 3 elections, the polls have been completely wrong. Yeah. So election before last, it was going to be a blue wave. It was a blue trickle. Last election would be a red wave. It was a red trickle. In the end, nothing's turning out the way it's supposed to be. What do you mean, Clara?
And how many presidents? Remind me again. How many presidents has the news on the flip side and the centralists? How many presidents have we predicted correctly?
All of them since when the station's been on.
That's right, all of them.
So yeah, keep that in mind, guys. And we were catching heat for Trump. Actually, Lily White called Trump at 7:30 in the afternoon.
I was giving a lot of crap on the show, the live show for the presidential election, that I said Trump was going to win. People just berated me, but then when we went to bed, when we closed off the show, it was looking like Trump was going to lose. And then in the morning, who won? Trump.
Yeah.
And we did the same thing with Obama. I didn't like the prediction. I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this man.
But you could tell, yeah.
He win, and he did twice.
This last election, guys, we called it for Biden somewhere around 10 o'clock, well before anybody else did. But nobody was happy. What do you mean?
But it was close until that 10 o'clock hour. Yeah. It was looking like Trump the whole way.
Well, really, when I went to bed, Trump was winning. He was actually winning in all categories. When I woke up, but for some reason, we all had this feeling that it wasn't going to go that way. Even though a lot of places, 98, 99% of the people were in. Next morning, I got up, all of a sudden, he's down by 6 million. And so I don't know. I don't know. It's not a question I can answer, Denise. If the governments are not willing to look into cheating, there's no way you'll ever know if there was or there wasn't.
Yeah. There most certainly was. There's no way that anyone got that many votes. I mean, the most votes in the history of American presidential elections, and it goes to a buffoon. I don't buy it. I'm sorry. It's fake.
It's well. So for me, I actually blame Trump for this because Trump kept saying for a year, "Oh, they're going to cheat. They're going to cheat." Well, if you do that, you should have planned for that and had people in all the right places. Mm-hmm. And in the end, whatever Biden did the right thing. Biden became president. He's president of the United States. We have to take him as president of the United States. Yeah. Duly elected president of our country. Yeah. Doesn't matter if you like him or not, people. He's the president of the United States.
Even if tomorrow they come out and they have hardcore, undisputable proof that he cheated on the election to get into the presidency, it cannot be undone. The Congress and the House of Representatives have approved it. It is a done deal. So he may be impeached because of that kind of information, but they can't, just cancel him as president.
No, it
It
just
would
just
be an
doesn't work that
ongoing,
way.
trial for impeachment, and he's either going to lose or win. And the impeachment trial may even come before the end of his term anyway. So, as slow
Yeah,
as our courts are.
well, yeah. Let's see. So they want. Sorry, I know I said that. No, they want. They want him impeached. That's just what they want. They
There were Democrats that are asking for him to be impeached.
yes, he's
I
just
mean, think
he's just
about
in
that.
he's just in a bad position. Unfortunately, he said some stuff. He's done some stuff, but I think it's more that they're worried that something's going to come out about his son and his business, because you got two IRS whistleblowers now. There's supposed to be others coming out. It's what are you going to do? Hope for the best and deal with it. There's not much else you can do, guys.
Prepare for the worst and expect the best, but
well,
it's
no.
sketchy territory.
Oh, I don't know, Jamie. It's I'm not I'm not that kind of psychic, my friend. You mean this next election? I'm not even going to try to pick this election yet because I don't even know who's going to actually be running.
We don't know who's going to be in it.
If I had to call it for anybody, I'd call it for Trump right now. But I don't think that's how it's going to end up going. So
I think right now he's the front runner. Yeah.
No, he'll beat Biden if he runs again this time. It's just Biden's just done too much stupid shit. And Kamala, I mean, just I don't know what to tell y'all, people. I mean, it's when you need to go listen to Kamala speak. Let me see real quick. Let me see if I can find her. She's
see if you can find that. That's waffle iron.
She's just. I don't know if she just gets like a lamb in the headlights or deer in the headlights, and she just doesn't know what to say, or maybe she doesn't have. Well, they're going to always pick the speeches she does well. I had seen one the other day. Kamala Harris gives fiery speech about Florida, whitewashing history of slavery. Kamala, I hate to tell you this, baby. Don't take this the wrong way. Nobody gives a shit what you think. I mean, she just does it. Okay, let's see. Is this it? It's one of these. Let's try this one first. What the hell is that? That doesn't even look real. Hold on, guys. This might be it. Let's see. No, I think this is a different one. We'll see what this one is. Stop. Where are we at? Mamas, don't let your babies grow up. Where the hell am I at? Okay, there I am. Don't let your babies grow up to be president of the United States. I guess.
Well, that's not really good advice. Just don't let your kids grow up to be buffoons and then become president.
Yes, morons. Yes. Yes.
That's a
better
better
really,
one.
people. Control them heathen children of yours. Is this the one we want? Is this the one we want? No, is it this one? Where the hell does this thing go?
Well, it's going back on Camilla. Isn't she like a Rhodes Scholar? Allegedly.
I'm just going to leave that alone.
Well, I mean,
something else popped into my head.
Al Gore is just as much of an idiot too, but he's a Rhodes Scholar.
If I think about what came in my head, I'll probably get arrested. So we're not going to go there. She's just, and some of the stories I heard about her early on, about when she was when she was what was she, district attorney for California. Some of that stuff scared the crap out of me, man. I mean, some of the stories I heard about her and the way she ran her office, and then all of a sudden she gets into DC and we find out that is the way she ran her office. And it made you kind of wonder, like, okay, what's going on here, and why?
Favoritism, maybe.
She's just okay. Is this it? Let's see. Let's try this. Let's move this one out the way. Let's just drop that out the way. Okay. For some reason, StreamYard is being complicated, people. Well, not really. It just wants what it wants when it wants it. It's like having another friend. How's that? Y'all thought I was going to say something else, didn't y'all? Yep. I don't know. It's just not showing. Let's go over here to Windows. Entire screen. That would be just a mess playing the whole screen. Let's see. Then I gotta find it again. Get rid of that. Well, where the hell is it? Well, sorry guys. Usually this is pretty easy, but for some reason, it doesn't want me to be able to do it.
Maybe the powers that be took it down off the internet because she looked like an idiot.
No, I had the article, but it won't let me. It wouldn't let me share it for some reason. Okay, let's try this again. I don't know, guys. It is hilariously funny if you get to see it.
What's
You know
what's the link? What's the link or what's the article link?
Maybe I'll look for it on on YouTube. It's I had just looked it up online and it came right up, but it wouldn't let me share because I think it was on Internet Explorer, and for some reason it doesn't like sharing on Explorer. I'm not sure what that's about. And or I should say, StreamYard doesn't like to share on Explorer. Let's see, maybe not. Let's try this again. Almost, yeah. I don't know, people. It went right up, and then it just decided, nope, I don't like you, and I'm not coming on here again. I don't know what that was about. No, I looked it right up. You found right what I was looking for too, and it's not letting me have it. Well, I can have it, but I want it with the audio. Yeah. Well, that's what I want. I want it with the audio. Let's see if we can get it here. When was this one? Well, this one seems to have a few of them, I'd say.
Is it Kamala gives word salad response to question on culture?
That might be it. There was, yeah. Well, what the question was? She was asked about the. Actually, she was asked about inflation. Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
that'll probably work too. I see a bunch of them over here with Megan Kelly. She's got all kind of them. A chair could beat Kamala Harris in an election. It's tough shit, man. Who wrote that?
Kamala Harris asked point blank about inflation.
Yes, yeah. I think
Let
that
me
was
see if
the
I
one.
can get it up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got it.
All right, let me get where I can get over by there, right here, so I can see the rain
Got it?
clearly.
Did you get it?
Where'd you send it? Messenger?
I got it here. Hold on.
Well, you can send it to me in the
No,
in the
share
comments.
screen.
Okay,
I can do
that's
that too.
better.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back where I can see it now. Okay, yeah, because I don't see nothing now. Jay has been abducted by aliens. Calm, everyone, calm. We need calm now because Jay has been abducted by aliens. I don't know why Jay has been abducted by aliens, but he has been. Sometimes these things happen, people. Just whoever wrote that, you're an ass. Oh man, I need. I need to spend lots of time not watching Goofball because she's I don't even know how to explain it. Well, I seen the one when she said population versus, and the White House said pollution. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, no, I believe that. But I've heard her give speeches that are hair curling, man. I mean, no, really. I mean, stuff that you just got to go. And how did she get it to become vice president again? Did they not have her sit and do a speech first? I would think that you would, want to test somebody on camera to see how they're going to do on that. I don't know, but I can't wait to see her debate whoever the vice president's going to be.
Try that link in the private chat, Joe.
Okay, let me pop back to over there where I was. Okay, pop that up. Bum, 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 bum. Hold stop and hold on, freeze there for a minute. Go back over around, invite. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. So, show up on the screen where you're supposed to go. Blow it up.
Hello, I'm Dr. John.
No, you,
Thank you. Our next question will come from Jennifer Jacobs at Bloomberg.
she looks high.
The
Look
audio is
at her.
really low too.
I
Record
know.
inflation, the worst in 30 years, way beyond expectations. OPEC didn't increase oil production. Can you tell us a little bit about how you would prevent the CBP spending and your Build Back Better agenda from exacerbating the problem? And also, what else are you going to do to fix this problem with inflation?
Thank you. Well, let's start with this. Prices have run up, and families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more.
Really?
And we have to understand what that means.
Is that true,
That's
Jay?
about the cost of living going up. That's about having to stress and
No, that's not how
stretch
it works.
limited
Red went up
resources.
because gas
That's
went up.
about a source of stress for families that is not only economic, but is on a daily level, something that is a heavy weight to carry. So it is something that we take very seriously,
Really?
very seriously. And we know from the history of this issue in the United States that when you see these prices go up, it has a direct impact on the quality of life for all people in our country. So it's a big issue, and we take it seriously. And it is a priority, therefore. So we have addressed it in a number of ways. One of the issues that we know is related to this is the supply chain issue that we just discussed. And so, on a domestic level, in terms of
Wait,
domestic
what
policy,
supply chain
one of
issue?
the
I missed
steps
that.
we have taken is to work with labor unions and to work with municipalities in opening back up and extending the hours of
The
our
supply chain
ports.
was a
There are
real
actually three I
gas
have in
price.
mind: Los Angeles, Long Beach, and Savannah. And in fact, part of the infrastructure bill benefit is most recently what we will do to assist Savannah in broadening their ability to be an active port. And we've seen a reduction in the container ships off of the Long Beach and
She'd
LA
come home
ports
one day and
because
I'd say,
of what
honey,
we've
I got to
done, which is to
divorce you. I didn't know
extend, as
you
you
were
know,
this
to
stupid.
24 or to extend the hours to now 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But there is also a point that is important to make on the Build Back Better framework. One,
Even the
it
guy
is
doing the
designed to
had to
make
shake his
it
head.
less expensive for working people to live.
I was to say, I wish I
It
could
is specifically
read
designed
sign language.
to
I'm gonna eat.
bring down the costs of childcare and increase accessibility and availability.
Okay, what did you just
Designed
say?
to bring
Nothing.
down the cost of elder care and
Where?
make it available to all those working families that need that support and need that help. And Build Back Better is not going to cost anything. We're paying for it.
Then how are you
So when
paying
we can
for it?
get Build Back Better passed, and we are optimistic that we will, the American people will see
Well, they're
costs
going to put
actually
security. Where
reduced
else?
around some of the most essential services that they need to take care of
Well,
their
guess what,
basic
Calamella? It
responsibilities,
passed and none of this
including
has turned
issues
out
like
to be true.
childcare and elder care, and also preschool. And that's an important point to mention also. And in fact, I had some conversations here in France, including with the Minister of Education in France, about the, again, global impact of the pandemic on childcare, but also on education, and in particular for our youngest children. Universal pre-K, when we're able to do that, 3 and 4 years old, getting education at no cost, what that is going to do in terms of not only supporting working families who otherwise can't afford to put their kids in a private situation and otherwise don't have it available, that's going to have a huge impact on lowering the cost for families. So that is a big part of our agenda.
Let's see.
Wow.
Let's see. Oh shit. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on, thing, because I'm screwing up here.
Vice President Kamala Harris tried to explain AI to Americans, and she really gave it her best shot.
AI is kind of a fancy thing. It's first of all, it's two
I
letters.
doubt it.
It means artificial intelligence. And part of the
shit.
issue here is what information is going into the machine that will then determine, and we can predict then if we think about what information is going in. So to reduce it down to its most simple point, this is part of the issue that we have here.
Fox Across America host on Fox Nation and Fox News Radio, Jimmy Fallon, joins us now. Jimmy, when you think about Kamala Trump...
Jimmy, we don't care what you think, actually, dude. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to torture y'all.
First
people.
of all, it's 2 letters.
Really? It's 2 letters. Okay, well, I think all of us already knew that. AI.
That's the big takeaway. It's a fancy thing, and it's 2 letters.
There's other things she could have called it. There are other words out there that you can use for things like that, you know. Well, people, you know, UPRN, that's 4 letters, right? Yeah. It also is an acronym for United Public Radio Network, but still.
It can also be United Paranormal Radio Network.
Yes, it can be. That's right. So people, you know, get out there and catch some fishies. Now we get ready to go because Jay got to get to bed, and I'm going to take.
Yeah, I got to get out.
And I got to make sure you don't. I told you his wife is a bitch, man. Oh gosh, send him. Send him chocolate cake. He is looking a little skinny lately.
Chocolate cake is good.
Send him chocolate cake. Yes. No. Yeah. He's up there, Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's cold up there. Well, it's not
Pittsburgh,
cold.
Harrisburg. I'm below Harrisburg by now. I mean, I'm closer to Maryland than I am to Pennsylvania, to be honest.
You know, and I'm bad about calling Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. No, people. What I mean by that is when I say Pittsburgh, I mean Pennsylvania. It's just dumb Southern. Don't worry about it. What is that, Janisa? So what's your question before we go? You mean the interest rate? So look, when I bought my house, interest in the United States was 1.75%. Okay. So and I paid a little more than that because my credit's not perfect, but still I only paid like 3.75%. I would have been happy with 5%. I'm not even going to lie. Right now, the current rate is 6.75. So under Trump, you could buy a house for less than 2%. Right now, you're currently at 6.75 and climbing.
Thank God I got my house under Trump.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I got. The same thing. I'm just saying, guys, if I'd have waited now, I'd have paid more for it. No, I'd have paid. So when I bought it, I got lucky for the price I got it. So I paid $125 for it. So if I bought it right now, and if I got a deal on it right now, it would cost me about $360, $375. Plus, it would be 6.75% interest.
Yep.
So
my mortgage payment actually went up $75 a month because Democrats won the state.
That's how things work, people. Sorry. My insurance went up this year. My flood did. Yeah, $100 a month. What I'm going to do? Say, oh, don't insure my house. I live in water, people.
Live below the floodplain. Yeah, you need to have that.
So yeah, you can't see it right now, but if you ever get a look at my ceiling technically, where I'm sitting from right now, is 12 feet above me. That's where the actual water was for Katrina. It has to be 22 feet.
Your house is on stilts.
Yeah, so from the tip of my roof to the bottom of the ground is 22 and a half feet. It has to be that high for the new flood regulations. If the house would have got wiped out, I would have had to rebuild the house with the bottom of the house being at 22 feet. Yes.
Yeah, you don't have the benefit of having a below ground basement. You're too far below the water table. And
we used to keep stuff in our shed, but our shed's got flooded so many times we don't even think about it anymore.
You have the same problem as Florida? Like if someone in Louisiana or New Orleans rather, if they empty their pool, the concrete gets pushed out of the ground?
They can't. Well, it depends. So this is how that works, really. Louisiana's got a lot of water underground. So they'll tell you to drain it slow, and they'll usually put stuff on the side to make sure there's no water holding to suck it out. But right now we're in a drought. So what happens is the ground is so used to being spongy here Because like if an 18-wheeler goes by, you can actually feel it. It'll bounce your house.
Yeah, you can feel it bounce. Yeah, same in Savannah. We're 10. So when I was in Savannah, that's 10 feet below the ocean level, and cars go down the road. You can feel the sidewalk, vibrate as the car goes underneath of it.
But if it stays dry too long, it all shrinks up like a sponge, and it starts pulling away from the house as much as 2 feet. So you can actually see. You can actually see if your house is on the ground. You can actually now see underneath your house because the ground has now pulled away. Here it's a little different because my house is raised, so I can only pull away from the poles, and the poles are already sunk. I mean, it survived Katrina, so the poles are pretty deep. But that's the rules. If you survive, you get to do things. If you don't survive, you got to go by the new rules. No, guys and girls, we're gonna go. Yes. What do you mean you're gonna mail yourself to? I don't think that's a healthy idea. Or you're cute? Maybe. I mean, maybe if you're cute, I don't know. But don't put yourself in a box. If you do, make sure you put holes in it. Okay.
And make sure it says live goods or live animal on the outside.
Yeah, because remember if you're flying there, once you break X amount of altitude, there's no oxygen, you'll die.
Yeah, they have to pressurize the cargo tanks, cargo areas.
That's why some animals are allowed to fly on board with their mommy and daddies, and some are too big and they have to be put in a special area. Well, yeah, because they'll die. Oh, your dog needs to breathe, people. I don't want to be the one that tells you this, but your dog needs to breathe. We're going to go. We'll talk about the Russians next week. We'll talk a little bit more about the Chinese next week. We'll talk about what's upcoming here soon. Don't forget to go vote. We already put the promos on right now, but go vote for the podcast awards. Get over there, vote for me, vote for John, vote for the girls. If y'all don't vote for Michelle, she's going to put the voodoo on your asses.
She will come after you.
I'm screwing around with fire here, man. I mean, y'all just don't know. People put the voodoo on your ass. Yes. No. You can go to galaxypress.com, and if you want to get the book, you can get them right there. It's linked off the website, but you get the book right there.
And you should also look at the 39th annual awards. They're available on the Roku tile. I watched it last night. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes, and I promise you're not going to know the candidates. You're probably not going to know the artists. You're probably not going to know the stories. But the
awards you're a geeker.
Better than the Oscars, I got to tell you. It was better than the Oscars.
And I was naked there.
Oh, geez.
Yes. I got my own private table. I was naked. Got to sit up there like, no, just screwing with y'all. It's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. If you win, you get to go writersofthefuture.com. Go win, and you'll get to meet us out there. Meet the whole group. And it's a bunch of great people. And you'll have a lot of fun. And no, Janine, they're not going to convert you into anything. In your case, I'd be more.
It has nothing to do with the Scientology religion. It's just strictly for books, authors, and writers.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's the way L. Ron P is paying forward. And it's not just him. All these other people come in and are getting paid forward. So,
yeah, I mean, think about it. He may have started the Scientology thing, but he's not in control of it. Other people have made a bad name, bad reputation for that religion. So that's not on L. Ron Hubbard. That's on lesser responsible people.
Yeah, morons. Yes,
Cruise for one.
But no, I mean, come out and meet everybody. Win. If you win, you can get out there. No, you have to be invited. I'm sorry, guys. Well, we've before last we had the owner of Dragon Con out there. He was a blast to talk to. Last year, we had the owner of FanX out there. He's also a blast to talk to. And excuse me. A lot of wealthy people come in. There's a lot of movie stars that show up in there.
John Meskimen's a presenter. I didn't realize I knew him until he came up. I looked him up on IMDb. Out of 249 movies, I'd seen 37 of his movies and TV shows. That's a pretty good percentage.
I think we just had him on last week.
Oh, damn. I would have loved to have been on with that.
Yeah, and
he did the audio book. There's an audio book that's he did the audio version of the 39th anthology. So him and his family did all the voices and vocal work.
He also did a lot of work on Mission Earth and what's the other one? The other big L. Ron Hubbard one, Battlefield Earth. He did the audio on both of those. Yeah. Oh no, they're great. I've listened to. I think when I do Battlefield Earth, it's like 40 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. And he did a lot of work with the DC Comics, DC cartoons, Batman and Superman, Justice League.
No, he had a I don't know. He was fun. He did a lot of. You can go listen to. It's up like 2 weeks ago. Yes, I was irritating him, but no, it was a good interview. He did a lot of more famous voices, but they're there.
Yeah, in Forrest Gump, as a matter of fact, guess who he is? John F. Kennedy, and I think he also does Eisenhower.
Yeah, no, go listen to the voices. No, it was a lot of fun. I met him in L.A. actually at the event. That's when I was introduced to him. Mm-hmm. That's when I was introduced to Dan Forrest. No, Dan Forrest actually in somewhere else I met Dan, but Dan and his family are very nice people. Yeah, they're very, very, really nice. I got to talk with them for a little while, but they're busy. We're busy. We're there for different things. No, he was the keynote speaker. Mm-hmm. I love his jacket because when you open his jacket, all the Marvel and DC stuff's in his jacket.
He had a customized jacket. Yeah, that was cool. I couldn't tell what it was in the video because my eyesight isn't that great, but I thought neat. He's got a customized liner for his jacket.
Yeah, no, he's a nice guy. Yeah, I like. He actually does 4 of these conferences, not one. He does one down in Florida. He
owns them.
Yeah, he owns them. Yeah, he owns them outright. Yeah. No, he's
4 pop media culture conventions he owns, and I don't remember the names of them anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, but he's a nice guy.
Yeah,
very approachable.
People in their 40s and 50s would probably enjoy the cons he's got. It would be throwbacks to the things you watched as a kid, 80s, 70s, 60s, whatever.
Yeah, we were in the one I seen in Utah was there was a lot of Star Wars stuff like that. A lot of people dressed up. There was a shitload of people there, but there was a lot of anime people there as well. And both DragonCon had more anime people, but they both had a good bit of anime. And,
DragonCon is to the East Coast, the version of the West Coast San Diego Comic Con. It's one of the biggest conventions on the East Coast. I mean, it's probably 40, 50,000 people over a 4-day weekend, 5-day weekend, Thursday through Friday through Monday.
And they got
on Thursday.
They got 5 hotels there. Each hotel has something they're doing with it. Well, there's lots of hotels in Atlanta.
It's a huge complex, and there's like the main one's the Marriott, which you'll see the Marriott lobby in Manhunter, but there's like the convention center or some
there's a Marriott, the
Sheraton, hotels where all the dealers are. It's a huge. I mean, the dealers room is 2 levels.
Yeah,
deep, 2 levels high. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of things you can buy there. It's unbelievable.
Yes, there's lots of stuff, and I went to DragonCon last year. I went to catch up. I was at DragonCon and FanX last year.
Did you go to the Midnight Drum Circle outside of the hotel?
No, I was probably doing something else.
It's cool. It's like 50 people with like bongos and
things. I
things.
didn't even hear about that. Well, if I'd heard it, I probably. Well, no, because for DragonCon, I stayed at the Hilton, which is about half a mile down. I liked it. I didn't have to get in all the traffic. Didn't have to mess with anybody, so I come and go. I found a place.
You can walk through the little skyline from your hotel directly to the convention.
Yeah, I could walk. It was about a half a mile walk, but I would take the Toyota, and I found this place up there. And I talked to the guy about it. I said, "Well, let's just reserve for me. I'm here working press all weekend." I said, "I'll give you good press. Plus, I'll pay you $50 a day." He said, "If you don't give me good press, don't worry about it." So he put a reserve thing for my truck. And that's where I parked the whole time I was there.
That's cool.
And so I just zip down, hop in, zip back, zip in, zip out. And I would just put the thing back in place. He was real nice. And he told everybody, so when I came in, there was no fuss or muss. And but it was almost as bad as LA as far as people smoking weed. Jesus, man.
The traffic's almost as bad as LA too. When I went there the few times, I parked my car in the Marriott garage. It stayed there the whole weekend.
I can see that.
There's skyways. There's air conditioned skyway walkways above the traffic. You can walk from hotel to hotel, from hotel to the dealers' rooms, back and forth through all the convention areas, and never ever step out into the August heat and humidity or September heat and humidity that's there.
And tell you what, people, if you're walking outside the hotels, you're walking up and down hills. Atlanta is a very hilly place, just to tell y'all ahead of time.
It's right outside the Appalachian Mountains, I believe, yeah.
Oh, I got a workout last time I was there. Yeah, I'm not even going to lie. The food's decent in Atlanta. And I don't even have to stay downtown. My sister works for the Marriott, and she owns a home right outside Atlanta, so I can always stay with her. But I like to to put people out. Besides, don't be keeping weird hours.
Yeah, if you're going to Dragon Con, you can stay up all night long and never see the same thing.
This year we've been talking about maybe bringing 4 or 5 people down and work in the conference. I might even get John to talk to. I'm not gonna say his name out loud, but maybe we could do something. Because I was talking with XCon about doing some stuff with them and maybe some pay-per-view or something. Well, not everybody can make it, people. It's Utah's a long ass drive.
Or flight.
or flight. And I mean, as far as that goes, if you're not local, Atlanta's a great place to fly into.
Yeah, it's a big hub, Atlanta Airport, and it's 11-hour drive for me from here to Atlanta, but maybe 12 now from where I'm at. But I've done the drive before, but it's
that's better.
If you're a young man, it's not hard. If you're 50s and 60s, oh, good, yeah, it's on your back.
It's when I go to DC's about 12, 14 hours from here where I'm at. It's probably grown a little bit because I moved a little bit further east. I mean, it's probably got shorter now because it's a little further. But we've drove to DC a couple times. We've drove through DC through Virginia. We drove to DC through West Virginia. If you can, people go in April when everything's blooming. It's beautiful. Just be careful. We did run into 2 little blizzards. One of the blizzards, we were doing 70 and the freaking snow was going sideways. But I figured as long as the rigs wasn't slowing down, there wasn't no reason for me to slow down.
You follow the 18-wheelers. If they slow down and pull underneath the overpasses, get off the road as soon as you can. Yeah.
No, we had a lot of fun. It's lots of beautiful mountains to drive through. One state's pretty than another, but I'll let y'all figure that out on your own. Well, it depends where you are too. There's a big difference between West Virginia and Virginia, and not just in lots of things.
West Virginia is extremely rural.
Yes, it's very rural.
In fact, probably most of your drinkable milk comes from that state.
Go. No, but if you can, it's the best time to go. Remember, it does snow in DC. So if you're going to DC, it does snow there. Not like it does other places, but it does snow there. So.
We've been lucky the last couple of years. We haven't had a lot of big snows the last 3 years, so we're overdue.
Yes, well, that's us. We haven't had any really bad weather, so it's weird. Well, we wait, guys, because we know for us, since we're having an extremely hot summer this year, we know if the summer's just outrageously hot, then odds are there's going to be a Class 5 storm coming to Gulf. Now, it's like Russian roulette for all of us. The entire Gulf South becomes at jeopardy, but it's who is it going to be? Is it going to be Houston? Could it be? Is it going to be Galveston Bay? Could be. Is it going to be Pensacola? Is it going to be Miami? Is it going to be the Keys? Is it going to be Tampa? Is it going to be anywhere in Mississippi or Louisiana, New Orleans? It's just Russian roulette. Or is it going to be down by the gas place again and make America be without gas? I know people are hard on y'all, but y'all don't realize how much gas is produced out of Texas and Louisiana. When those two,
a lot of the big coastal cities, Savannah, Georgia is a huge refinery for Exxon. Huge refinery.
So when they get hit, it's always a nightmare for everybody. Yeah. Well, because that's where all the big 3 of the biggest refineries in the world are in Houston and the western part of Louisiana. They're freaking huge. When you look at them from space, they just look like a city. But no, they come and go, and they get shut down and turned around. And right now we're trying to do electric, which we're going to do a show on this. In about 4 weeks or 5 weeks, we're going to do a show on alternative energies and see what's really going on with what and how efficient is your electric car. But anyway, we got to go. Good night, y'all guys. Behave. Stay out of trouble. Be nice. Be nice to your fellow person. Remember, be treated the way you want to be treated. It always works out better that way. On that night, good night, and we will see y'all, next Friday. Stay out of trouble. And send J.